There's some philosophies that are important to understand about speed to lead before we kind of go into how to implement, what you're going to see, and what's going on there. With speed to lead in general, the philosophy here is we're looking for excess value, and excess meaning surplus. Okay. Wow. This is interesting. We're looking for surplus. Okay. We're not talking about just what is needed to complete the job, the value, not just what is expected, but outside of expectation. If the bar is here and most of your competitors are here, I want you to be here or maybe even here, so that that value that you're going to provide the homeowner is a heck of a lot more. If you're not interested in excess value, go ahead and just skip this video, because it's really not going to help you as much as it could if you believe in that philosophy. Excess value can be defined as the gap between price and value. And when you think about price and value, price should be, let's say the price of this is $2, right? We want the value to be as high as it can be. Now, good rule of thumb here is nothing less than a 10x, okay? Nothing less. So if it's $2, value should be 20 plus, okay? Now that's really difficult for most of you to hit, and some of that is because you've never thought about this. That's core philosophy 1. Now, part of this is that homeowners that you're interacting with, they have no idea how to decide if you're the one for them, if you could do the work. They can't look at this roof work, the quality of your install, the quality of your interactions with them ahead of doing an actual install, inspection, re-roof, tear off, etc. They can't judge that until that process is already done. So the only measure that they really have to look at until they have something that's on their house is the value that you provide with communication. And so with communication, we're talking about, oh my goodness. We're talking about expectations, expectation setting. We're talking about information that helps them through the education process, helps them with the initial agreements in relation to the things that they need to agree to have this job be done by you. Now, this communication is communication that can be happening across SMS and email, AI agents. It can be also calls from that initial conversion. And because they can't judge that, the communication is the #1 highest leverage way for you to communicate that value. And it's something that can differentiate you from the other companies that you're competing against, because most of them are competing on square prices without detailed price line item, material list, and estimates. So job costing is incorrect, tons of change orders. They put it back on the homeowner. You don't want to be that person, right? We need to communicate around what this process is going to look like if they do decide to go with you, what this process is going to look like even the next thing down the line when they raise their hand and want something from you. And that could be a lead magnet, what have you. Speed to lead is extremely important. We need to make sure that communication is at the forefront of what we are doing in speed to lead across everything. They should not wonder who's going to be reaching out to them next, what they're going to be reaching out to them about, and when that's coming. Should never be the case. And number 3 here is that speed is huge value. Okay. And speed in this context is, hey, they opt in at, let's say they opt in at 8 p.m. Your message should go out at 8 p.m. Or if you're slow, 8:01 p.m. And this should not be, we'll say opt in, and your message should be here. Now, this should also be something that is SMS, email. This should be a call. Now, with a call, this could be an AI agent. This could also be you. This could also be someone, not you, that's trained on your consultative sales process. There's absolutely no reason that when someone reaches out for help that they don't have a way to hear from you at the closest time after they raise their hand for something as possible. It should be all 3 of these. And if it's not all 3 of these, let's look at putting in systems, processes, some sort of software to help you with this. If you don't get on the same page as me with these philosophy things, this video is really not going to make a lot of sense.